What if the most powerful currencies on Earth aren't printed by any government, tracked by any central bank, or even visible on any exchange, yet quietly, invisibly, they decide who rises, who falls, and which nations bend, behind the flags, the borders, the institutions we trust? There exists a hidden world, a world where dynasties have long relied on shadow currencies, systems of trust, influence, and assets that move faster than laws, and survive the collapse of empires. The question is, what are they? How do they work? And why are they still shaping the world you think you know? And honestly, the more you look, the more you realize this world has been hiding in plain sight for centuries. Imagine a fortune, moving silently, slipping through the cracks of the world's most secure systems, not through banks, not through swift transfers, not through any of the channels we're told are safe, not even through cryptocurrency, but through networks so secretive, they leave no trace, no digital echo, no paper trail. This is the untraceable empire. Picture a world where the ultra-wealthy operate their own financial systems, completely off the grid, beyond the reach of regulators or watchdogs. Entire fortunes shuffled like chess pieces, across continents, without a single digital footprint, orchestrated with precision and secrecy. And here's the shocker. This isn't theory. This isn't a thriller plot. It's a reality that's been unfolding for generations. It's a centuries-old network, still thriving today, right under our noses, adapting with every new technology and law. Dynasties, aristocrats, and the hidden elite have long relied on personal trust networks and private contracts, systems built on loyalty, secrecy, and tradition. In these circles, a nod, a handshake, or a coded message can move billions, instantly, bypassing every modern safeguard. You might think, surely governments would notice. But these empires are designed precisely to evade detection, built to outsmart even the most vigilant authorities. Invisible to tax authorities, untouchable by sanctions, untraceable by conventional audit. They exist in the shadows, immune to oversight. The wealth of the invisible flows quietly, deliberately, shaping markets, politics, even wars, without leaving a footprint, influencing the world in ways most never see. And every time we think transparency is absolute, these invisible systems quietly remind us that some rules simply don't apply, and some empires remain forever hidden. If money leaves a trail, then perhaps the real shadow currencies aren't money at all. They slip through the cracks of the financial system, invisible to regulators and nearly impossible to trace. They are assets, tangible, high value, and untraceable. Gold, diamonds, rare art. These are the true tokens of the underground elite, exchanged in silence and secrecy. Welcome to the barter black market, a world where art, rare collectibles, and even vast landholdings are traded like currency. But without a single dollar changing hands. Here, value is measured not in numbers on a screen, but in the rarity and desirability of the objects themselves. Imagine trading a Picasso for a private island, or exchanging a centuries-old sculpture for a yacht that never docks in the same port twice, or swapping rare gemstones for exclusive access to critical technologies. In this world, innovation and luxury are just as valuable as cash, sometimes even more so. These megatransactions occur in whispers, private auctions, and through networks most of us will never see. Deals are brokered in coded language, behind closed doors, and often span continents. History is full of examples. Renaissance bankers moved vast fortunes in gold, art, and land, often keeping governments in the dark. The tradition of secretive wealth is centuries old, evolving with every new era. Today, digital platforms, encrypted deals, and global couriers make the practice faster, more discreet, infinitely more sophisticated. The tools have changed, but the game remains the same. In this realm, the value isn't in currency, it's in influence, in control, in assets that cannot be frozen, taxed, or seized. Ownership is power, and power is the ultimate currency. These shadow systems ensure that wealth, and the power that comes with it, can leap across borders, immune to the rules of the nations below. In the barter black market, the only limit is imagination, and the willingness to play in the shadows. But how do dynasties keep track of these fortunes, without anyone knowing? Enter the private ledger paradox. These aren't your average spreadsheets, these are black books, encrypted, private ledgers that track billions, with zero government oversight, ancient trust networks, coded messages, family charters, now combined with digital innovation, AI, and encryption. The result? A system where billions can move, with total invisibility. Think about it. A family network spanning centuries, assets in multiple countries, interests in companies, commodities, and rare collectibles. Every move, every transfer is recorded privately, never seen by accountants or regulators. These ledgers are auditable only by those within the network. They are self-contained universes of wealth insulated from the oversight mechanisms we take for granted. The private ledger paradox reveals a chilling truth. Power doesn't need transparency to endure. Currency, barter, ledgers. But there's another layer, one more tangible, one more primal: commodities, gold, diamonds, rare earth elements, strategic resources. For the ultra-wealthy, these are not just investments, they are bedrock currencies, physical, movable, and nearly impossible to confiscate. Entire fortunes secured in hidden vaults, under layers of secrecy, often in countries with lax disclosure laws. Beyond traditional reserves, dynasties manipulate commodity flows strategically, buying, moving, storing, bypassing national economies entirely. A family with control over key resources can influence markets, sway governments, and even determine the fate of nations, without ever touching a single bank account. This is commodity-backed collusion, a silent global power play where physical wealth becomes invisible influence. And now, imagine the old world secrecy, vaults behind vaults, secrets passed in whispers, fortunes hidden for generations. Now picture that secrecy converging with cutting-edge technology, AI algorithms that not only predict market shifts but also adapt in real time, learning from every transaction, every anomaly, every digital footprint, quantum computers that encrypt and move wealth at speeds and levels of complexity faster than any human eye can follow, making detection nearly impossible. The next generation of shadow finance is emerging, hidden in plain sight, woven into the fabric of our digital lives. In this new era, dynasties will combine centuries of trust networks with digital invincibility, creating legacies that are both ancient and unbreakable. The consequences: global transparency eroded as the lines between legal and illegal, visible and invisible, blur beyond recognition. Economies destabilized. Sovereign borders, increasingly irrelevant as capital flows without restriction, and power shifts to those who master the code. It raises uncomfortable questions. Who really controls the levers of power? Who writes the rules in a world where wealth is invisible? And, if the invisible empires are untouchable, how do ordinary people prepare, or even understand the rules of this hidden game? What does security mean when the game itself is changing? The reality is that shadow currencies aren't coming. They've already arrived, quietly circulating, reshaping the very foundations of value and trust. And they will quietly shape the world long after governments, banks, and central authorities have tried and failed to intervene or regain control. Understanding them isn't just curiosity, it's survival, awareness, insight, the difference between being swept away or staying afloat, because these invisible empires guides adawantes in more, ad enhines in case, cores, adawand in mum and en oib, see. They decide history itself, yo. It's shaping destinies in silence far from the public eye. So next time you check the stock market, watch the currency exchange, or marvel at a nation's wealth, remember this: some of the most powerful fortunes on earth aren't on any ledger you can see. They move silently, across continents, beneath the radar, beyond borders, shaping destinies in ways we are only beginning to understand. The world of shadow currencies isn't coming. It's already here.